Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. I have a question here about being creative. I thought I'd answer this question here. It is from Dennis, who is one of my favorite question askers. If you've watched my channel, you know that I often answer questions from Dennis here. And Dennis says, he says, according to Baseman, the surveys show that it's not new technology or training that makes employees happy. It's the ability to be creative at work and having the flexibility to use whatever technology you want. So he says, and he gives a quote here, he says, when we look at people's sensation of feeling creative and how that translates to happiness at work, there's a long-standing perception that creativity is for a few. What we saw in the survey is it's much broader than that. You can find creativity and happiness in a whole array of industries, he says. So he says, being creative is very important to me. I told someone just yesterday that I enjoy working, especially when I get to solve difficult problems. It's even more fun when others crashed and burned and they have to call me. So what industries have the best opportunities for a programmer to be creative? How do you let everyone join in the creative process without egos getting trampled? I know of one owner who pits people against each other, which I think is wrong. A real leader will inspire everyone to contribute. Dennis. So Dennis, I would say here that, you know, it doesn't really matter on the industry itself as far as creativity for a programmer, because it's really the approach that you take to solving the problem, right? I think that any kind of environment, you can be creative, right? Because it doesn't, you know, the industries themselves, maybe some industries present significant problems in the business domain that a programmer would have to solve. But in general, you know, a programmer is going to be figuring out solutions to a wide array of problems. So you can use you can be in an environment and be creative simply by how you approach the problem, right? And you know, and I think that it's really what you decide, right? Some people go to their job and they decide that there is no creativity in it, and that they're just a cog in the machine, and that they're just gonna, you know, do their work and do their job, and they don't see any opportunity for creativity, and that's their attitude. But other people, they look at even the stuff that might seem mundane, right? Maybe, you know, let's take this out of the programming domain and say, like, you know, how about a boring job like I don't know, mopping the floor, right? Right? You could be creative with that. You honestly could. Like, if your attitude is one that everything you do, you know, I always say it's not what you do, it's how you do it. How you do one thing is how you do anything, right? But if your attitude about how you do your work is about trying to do the best that you can, you're going to get creative. It's going to be a creative process, because you're going to take whatever you did and you're going to try and improve upon it always. And that's going to involve creativity. And so you're going to come up with new ways of doing things. You're going to come up with ways that you can take this boring job or take this, you know, mundane task and make it into something that's creative. I think that opportunity always exists. One thing I would say also for programmers especially is that, you know, programming is, the idea is automation, right? But in any programming environment, one way to be creative, especially if you feel like you don't have a lot of creative outputs, is to go and look for places where you can actually build developer tools that will help you to automate some of the tasks that maybe are outside of the main program that you're working on itself. So there's always a way to be creative. I don't think it really depends on the industry, like I said. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. And I have a request for you. If you like this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button below, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.